Hey Armando, how's it going? This is Ryan with TrendLizard.com. I hope you're doing well. I hadn't heard from you from a little while, so it's good to hear from you. Hope all is good on your end. I got your email. I'm going to take a look at two things for you tonight. I'm going to take a look at PICK, which is an iShares Global Metals and Mining Producers ETF, as well as VLUE, which is a value ETF from iShares as well. So I think I took a look at PICK for you before. I don't think VLUE is one I've looked at before, but we'll do them both from the beginning. So PICK was incepted back in 2012. Started with a large ABC decline into the 2016 low. Since then, has given us some very clear patterns to the upside. A very clear 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for wave 1, which was followed by an ABC pullback, very clear three-wave move. It did spike below a 61.8% retracement of this up leg, but it was temporary, and it quickly reversed back above that level. And since then, off that 2020 low, it gave us a very clean 5-wave advance to the upside, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into the 2021 high. Since then, we've seen the largest pullback we've seen since that 2020 low was recorded, and it appears to be a counter trend move that is correcting this 5-wave advance. So on a larger time frame, this looks bullish to me. I think ultimately you would expect the formation of a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-wave move. Currently in the third wave of that move, maybe that's the end of the third wave, maybe a larger third wave will form. But I think the way we have to work with it right now is just on the assumption that this advance off the 2021 low completed and is being corrected. So let's go ahead and zoom in and look at this price action off the 2020 low. Takes a look at it, also takes a look at that counter trend ABC pullback. A sharp move ultimately, lost a lot of value during that move, but very clearly a counter trend move in its end. So after that low was recorded in 2020, got a nice 5-wave move for wave 1, a larger second wave pullback, a third wave here, and then kind of a running fourth wave, excuse me, and then a 5th wave up into that 2021 high. So over the course of this move, really all we saw were pullbacks that lasted no more than a couple months. That has changed in 2021. It has pulled back for I think about 6 months now, maybe a little bit longer. So far, it has not yet retraced a Fibonacci portion of this 5-wave up leg. That would occur in this yellow area. It hasn't reached it yet. I think time frame wise too, it would be reasonable to expect a larger move before it is complete and before we get, say, that next 5-wave advance. So those are the generalizations on it. But overall, again, we're expecting this move here to correct this 5-wave advance here before the trend turns back up. So let's go ahead and just zoom in on this 2021 pullback. So here's the move, and the thing that becomes clear fairly quickly is that it appears to be a counter trend move in that we're seeing 3-wave moves to the downside, not trendy 5-wave moves, and deep retracements to the upside. So overall, it looks like counter trend price action. I wanted to run through the possibility that the counter trend pullback had already completed. And if that happened, it would have been in early October. And then what would have happened to the upside here would be the resumption of the uptrend. I don't think that is the case. So let's go ahead and zoom in and I'll show you why on this action off of October's low. This is it. If we try to label this as the start of the resumption of the uptrend, basically the only way I can find to look at this up leg is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but wave 3 here is the shortest up leg. We know that's not possible. After that 5-wave move completed, then we have the sharp decline that retraced more than 61.8% of this up leg here and has largely moved sideways. And in addition to that, the pullback to the downside here looks more like a 5-wave move than anything else. So bottom line, I don't think the correction has ended yet. I think we're going to get a larger counter trend pullback. It's hard to say exactly when it's going to end. But that's the thing with counter trend pullbacks, right? We never know exactly. Generally speaking, at least in normal times, when a correction ends, it ends with a sharp ending move like we see here with the C-wave decline into 2020's low. This is pretty dramatic, obviously. This was a massive decline, but maybe on a smaller time frame, you see a bunch of chopping around. Then you see that sharper ending move, ideally into the support area, and then you see some type of trendy upside action from there. That's what we're looking for. We want to see something like that to indicate that the move's over. And again, we would very much like to see it test this yellow area before it turns higher. So I think it's bullish on a larger time frame. Again, we're getting trendy 5-wave moves to the upside and downside price action that looks like counter trend movement, but no indication yet that this counter trend pullback is over. So I think you need to be careful. because it could last for a while before it ends. And you don't want to just kind of be sitting watching in a move that is generally pushing lower before it's going to find its way higher. So look for an end of the counter trend pullback, look for some trendy upside action on a small time frame, and then it would be a buying opportunity. It's just not there quite yet. So let's shift our gears here. We're going to VLUE. This guy is the iShares Value Factor ETF. It was incepted back in 2013. Had basically on the overall time frame, it's hard to see exactly what the overall labeling is, but what we are seeing is trendy 5-wave moves to the upside and very clear counter trend ABC pullbacks to the downside. So here's an example of that 5-wave move to the upside, a nice ABC pullback to the downside. Once again, a nice 5-wave move to the upside, and then a larger expanding ABC pullback to the downside here into the 2020 low. Now, some people will debate this move here. The thing that kind of resonates with me is this 2019 recovery is a very clear 3-wave move. I don't see any other way to label this move here as anything other than a 3-wave move. And if it's a 3-wave move, it's not a trendy move. That means it's part of a larger counter trend pullback. It all fits with the C-wave ending pattern here. Bottom line, we have this labeled as an ABC move that ended in 2020. Off of the 2020 low, had a nice first, second, third, and a 4th wave that we've been in for a while, and pending a 5th wave up. Now, I think the question that really has to be asked is this 4th wave correction over? Are we starting that 5th wave advance now, or will we get a larger 4th wave correction before price continues higher? Either way, we're going to expect a 5th wave up to complete this 5-wave move, just like we've seen all previous advances complete 5-wave moves before they're over. So let's zoom in and look at the 2021 pullback to see what we can find. So here's a little more detail in that move. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can see how we label it internally. I guess it doesn't really get to the point yet that we can analyze this 4th wave to see if the trend is turned up, but let's go ahead and do that now. So the way I see it, there's 2 possibilities. Okay, as is, VLUE is testing its long-term high, this gray line here that was set back in June. It started with very clear counter-trend downside action, and we know for sure that it's a counter-trend move because it's been completely retraced by recent strength. So if the 4th wave completed, excuse me, we have an A down here, a B up, and then a C down, and then the slower start to a 5-wave advance, 1, 2, and then subdividing within a larger 3rd wave advance to the upside. If wave 4 completed, we know that it won't trade below 104 because if it does, this up leg off of September's low no longer has trendy potential. We would have to think that we're still in a larger 4th wave correction. So let's go ahead and look at that possibility. This looks at that possibility. You have an A, B, C, all of that for just a larger A wave, and then an A, B, C recovery for the larger B wave. And then again, if you get a move below 104, you know that this is the correct labeling. We're due for a C wave down that should head back down to the previous lows before we get that 5th wave advance. How do you play it? In this market, I think you have to kind of err on the side of the bulls here because everything wants to go up at every opportunity. We've seen a lot of potential for larger corrections, and it just doesn't come through. It seems over and over what we find is that the market is just wanting to go higher as soon as it possibly can. And in this case, that would support this labeling here. It's not the prettiest start to a 5-wave move, but what can you do? So I think as long as risk is tight, and it certainly is with this 104 stop level, you can be bullish on it and expect higher prices and look for this advance off September's low to become a 5-wave move. If instead it breaks down and moves below 104, then you get out and you know what it means. It means we're getting a larger 4th wave correction before VLUE resumes the 5-wave advance in a 5th wave up from there. So, and then obviously when that 5-wave move completes to the upside, I think at a point like that, you have to be careful because you saw the same thing here, completed a 5-wave move, had some back and forth, ultimately turned into a very large pullback. Not saying the exact same thing might happen this time. Can't rule it out though. A large correction of a 2-year long or however long move would be a pretty substantial correction. So be bullish until we get a completed 5-wave move. But from there, that's when you'd want to exit and allow for a larger correction like so. So Armando, I hope that's helpful, man. Just great to hear from you. For everybody else, please come visit us at TrendLizard.com. We put this stuff to the test every day using the Elliott wave theory in real time on anything we can plot on a chart. So have a great week. We'll talk to y'all very soon.